Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja, and I'm your host, story coach, and a mentor for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have a pleasure to interview Louise Lavergne, who is an Intuitive Energy Alchemist. She blends scientific and mystical elements to optimize your energy to create a reality in harmony with your divine purpose. A best-selling author of the book Do Rescue Remedy from Overwhelmed to Thriving, Louise supports heart and soul purpose-driven coaches, mentors, and way showers and high achievers to do their soul purpose work in a sustainable and impactful way as the CEO, meaning conscious, empowered owners of their life and business. Her Destiny Blueprint system offers an illuminated path to the joy of being who you were born to be. Let's find more about her path, and I will also ask her the best steps on fulfilling our soul destiny. Let's get started here. Welcome, Louise. I'm so excited to have you here today.
It's such a joy to be here. It really is. You do such beautiful work. Thank you for bringing us all together.
Thank you. And I'm just curious, I have heard parts of your story as we are friends, but please do share with others too. Was there a special event that led you to this path?
Yeah, we all have so many forks on the road along the way. And I started really young, but it was really 20 years ago. I made the choice. Well, the universe did for me what I couldn't do for myself. I had the opportunity to do my soul purpose work full time. I was doing my spiritual work along with my acting career. I shared in my book my big do moment. What I mean by that is when you're doing and you totally lost your connection to being. And I had developed this doobie remedy to navigate my life. And I was in the business world. I was doing great. I was managing the stress, single mom, special needs child, living in New York City. I mean, I really had some heavy duty training going on. And I just got a call that the company that I was working for went out of business. The investors pulled out and I was out of a job. And I had been feeling like I really want to do my work, but I really liked having this big paycheck coming every month. And I just felt both extremely excited and terrified. But I just decided that this was the opportunity, and I went full-time doing my business, sharing with other business people how to deal with the reality of the day-to-day stress. Because we often get so involved in our doing, we get into that toxic productivity. It's everywhere we go, society. Good job, you're really working hard, but we lose our connection. And I was working with a lot of VIPs who were just burning out, not able to sustain. And taking that 2-week vacation is great, but it's really, if you can sustain and deal with it within the reality, you can have much longer, you can actually enjoy your vacation. So anyway, I was doing this, it launched very quickly. As soon as I wrote my program, 9/11 happened, and there was such a need for the companies in New York. So I was in New York Life, Dow Jones, I worked with all these amazing companies, and my internal motto was to change the world one suit at a time. And I loved doing it, but something interesting happened. When you go into doing your soul purpose work and you do it, you have to deal with the 3D reality of dealing with money and dealing with just, the challenges of that. And I just wasn't making enough money to sustain my New York City life. And I had to just make a choice. Do I go back to a job and do this part-time? And that felt like, no, so I made a choice that I was really ready to give up my struggle story. And I was working with a wonderful mentor at the time who was a universal Kabbalah master, yoga master. I had gone back to do a lot of yoga trainings and stress management training to do this work that I was doing. And this light bulb went off. You can't change the reality of what is. You can't change time, but you can change space and you can change the energy. And I was learning about Kabbalah astrology. I was learning about soul design. I was really discovering my strength and my weaknesses and how to amplify my energy to focus towards what I do want. And I applied myself beyond the doobie-doobie-doo. I started to create practices that made sense to me as a single mom, not just replicate these ancient practices, because I wasn't in a monastery. I wasn't on top of the mountain. I had to deal with a lot of reality and adversity. And so the more that I stayed committed and decided to really apply this, what I now call the destiny blueprint, it's the map, your soul design, your destiny is by design. You can actually impact everything by the choices that you're making. I had a astrology chart done when I was looking to make these changes just to kind of get some clarity. And there was so much struggle in my chart. That was another thing that just, I am done with this. So when
Mm.
6 months later, it's about 6 months later, everything was starting to fall into place. And it was becoming clear that I was going to leave New York City. Opportunities that I never even could have imagined were opening up for me. So I had another chart done just to kind of get an update, and the astrologer couldn't even believe that it was the same person. I had actually rewritten my chart, changed all these struggle aspects. It was amazing. Now, there's certain things you're not going to be able to change, but you can change how you navigate it. So it was like, wow, this really works. And I started to share this with other executives. The timing, I think for us intuitives, timing is a very mystical, challenging things, because divine timing and bully timing are always competing. I should be doing this now. But, and I'm a very hard worker. I was really sometimes pushing the timing, even though I knew that it might not be time. So this helped me align with my own auspicious timing so that I could, the image that I share is, it's like going out to sea with your sailboat because you think you should be out with your sailboat, with your offer or whatever you're doing, and there's no wind, but you're huffing and puffing to get the thing going. When the wind is out, when you know your timing and you go out to sea with the wind, it's like, whoa, I can use my energy to actually do my work, not just to pull all these hard, I call them 3D reality things that we have to do. And I feel that now more than ever, this new paradigm that we're experiencing, it's the ability to be absolutely connected to our reality, as well as connected to our spiritual gifts, our intuition, and have these meet in our hearts so that we can navigate from our line of well-being.
Mm. Yeah, and I love what you shared. I just want to jump in
Yeah.
here, like the whole metaphor about the like be going to the sea and like with the sailboat and like not having the wind. But
Yeah.
then in the life as well, sometimes you start seeing like things just start unfolding with
Right.
ease.
Right.
And sometimes it feels like that we are trying so hard. And maybe many of the listeners can relate to you as well. Like we are just trying so hard and
Right.
we are just not moving anywhere. So I'm super duper curious now to learn more, like what created that shift in your life. Like what were the things that you started changing? I heard there was teachers like who were
Yeah.
helping and having a map,
Mm-hmm.
but what do you feel were
I'll
as
tell
well
you.
helping you?
Well, I think the biggest game changer was to have to have a practice, a meditation practice that allowed me to not just go into that peaceful place, because that's lovely and that's really powerful, and to not stilling our mind, but engaging our mind into a partnership with our intuition actively, and working with specific practices that what I call that help to align and calibrate our line force battery. Our energy fuels everything. And when you do work of helping other people, it's really easy to just give and to be really draining our energy. What I discovered for me is that there were things that I was doing that I thought were actually good things, but the way I was doing them was draining my energy instead of uplifting my energy. So when we identify where we're losing, and that's one of the things that I love doing, is really tuning into where we lose energy. We could do something right now. Should we do something just so if you're curious about whether you're losing energy and how you can optimize your energy? There's just a very small adjustment that we can make. Should we do it?
Yeah, well, sure.
So if we just take a moment now, and if you have a piece of paper and you want to write this down, it'll be a little bit more powerful. But what are the things in your business and in your life that are not working for you right now? Just write just a few things. If you can come up with 1, 2, 3, just see how many things you can come up with.
Yeah, and you can pause this
Okay.
recording and
Yes,
write your list. Take
you
your
want to take more time.
write
Okay.
everything if you need more time. So that's cool.
Now I want you to take a moment and write down everything that's going great. Everything that is just how you want it to be. That's just manifesting in a powerful way for you. So pause it if you want to take more time. And just now take a look at your list or think about it. What was the easiest for you to write? Was it easiest to write the problems or easiest to write the good things? Did you have an experience, Katja, for yourself?
I think how my mind is trained through the work experiences that I have, it's more like focused on finding the problems so I can solve them.
Right.
And I have been trying to train myself to see the good things as well.
Yeah, that's a smart way to, I mean, we need to be aware of the problems, right? Because that's how but if we are vibrating the problems more strongly, our energy is focusing towards what's not working, and we lose so much of our manifesting energy because the magnets start to be fueled with what we don't want. So you have to pay attention to the problems, but if you can right now reframe the problems as the healing opportunities in my business right now are.
That's right.
The learning opportunities for me right now are. Wow, do you feel the energy difference change? It's not this heavy. So we get stuck into that 3D of things are happening to me, even though we're very conscious and aware. You know, it's easy when we do a business to get into that pattern of losing energy. So the intention under which we do that's good for us, solving the problems, and even with food, like if you think about eating healthy because I'm afraid of getting sick. If you shift that, I'm eating healthy because I love me, I care about my body, I care about being healthy. That will energize you towards the results instead of, oh, I can't eat this, and I'm sorry. We start to feel sorry for ourselves. We fall into that victim mentality because we all have, through our ancestral evolutions, soul evolution, past life, whatever you feels comfortable for you, there is a lot of struggle and survival story that we're healing right now. So they have to come up so we can heal them. And when you write what is working, if you write them as a gratitude, that amplifies the energy to bring more of that. And I think what's really helpful is to always ask yourself the question, not like, I want more. When you feel a good feeling, I want more of that. I want less of that. So I want to bring my energy right now to focus on moving me towards what I do want. I love creating practices that gives us the experience, because information becomes knowledge when we experience it. And as we go into the experience, it becomes wisdom, and we can refer to it over and over, and it creates these anchors that move us forward. I was so lucky when I left New York, I moved out west, I opened a Joyful Yoga, which is a wellness center. I didn't know that I was creating this whole big thing. I started to teach and integrate all the techniques and modalities that I learned from all the different yogas and the Qigong and sound healing. And I have the ability to see what's happening in people's body. Now, I'm very intellectual. So it took me a long time to surrender, to see, not in a traditional way, but to be able to see and feel the impact of what some of these practices were doing to people right before my eyes. But there was something that really was really hard for me. I was doing healing work, private sessions with people and moving all this energy. People would come out of class feeling so good, and then they go right back to the comfort zone. And I was just very frustrated. So I wanted to give people a way to work on their life force battery, their energy every day. Because being committed to a daily practice, you were asking me what was the biggest changing thing? When I committed to doing my morning practice where I was really calibrating. And calibration means alignment in action. I have to deal with my physical body, my breath, my heart, my mind, my spirit, all together, coming together for that time. And being able to be with people, whisper in their eyes. I felt so bad when I wasn't staying committed. I would just carry a lot of shame because I'm very spiritual, but it was so hard to make that time every day within my life. So I've created the Spark portal to give people a place to stay committed. I think staying committed to your inner self-care, your inner momentum has the greatest impact on aligning you on your, I call it your destiny bridge, moving you towards the purpose of why you're here, to help those you're here to help. Does that make sense?
Now you mentioned yes, it does, but I want to just take everyone to the same page as you mentioned destiny. And I know people have different definitions on the word destiny. Yes. So what is your definition?
So I think for me, it really changed when I understood that destiny was a choice. You know, we're born with this soul design. We have an architecture that we can align to, and we have choice. And it's always, I think there's always two paths. If we're not on our destiny bridge, we're in the faith. Faith is when we just are a victim of circumstance. We make the best with what is. And I was really good at that. I'm like a really good survivor. Started very young with when I made that shift that I wanted to stop the struggle, what I did is that I don't want to be just a victim of circumstance. I want to take charge of aligning myself on my destiny bridge. It's the architecture of your whole self illuminated, like when you're totally aligned and you're doing something and you just feel this joy of being who you are and why you're here. When you're aligned with that, and we all fall off the destiny bridge. That's part of being on this planet. We get to fall off. But when you have the map, what it did for me was that I didn't spend so much time sitting off the bridge feeling sorry for myself and just kind of watching the bridge and wishing I was on the bridge, but not doing anything about it. So to be able to get myself back on the bridge, and you know, I've fallen off that bridge so many times. I have these little ramps sometimes, but I have fewer ramps now. And I'll tell you one more thing that really has changed everything, not even just for me, but for my clients, was to stop to feel bad about not taking better care of myself. And to understand that just eating right, exercising, all the typical self-care stuff that most people do are great. But when you're doing your soul purpose work, your life force battery needs something more complex. It's like you can't run a Tesla on gasoline, right? So it's a little bit like if we're this really, and we've had so many energy upgrades lately. So we're becoming more refined. So when we stop carrying this sort of heavy on taking better care of ourselves. I don't know about you, but I always took my spirituality for granted because it was so organic for me. But once I started to really be actively nurturing that and to shift totally out of self-care and go into self-kindness. And what I've been teaching my clients is these 5 daily anchors. You start with 3 to 5 daily self-kindness bee breaks. It's like 3 minutes, but every time you do one, you end your day with a high five. And I can feel good every day that I have nurtured my inner riches, my inner momentum. Because it's not about having that full hour. It's those little moments where we realigned and recalibrate. And again, calibrating is that active part of all the peace part. You know, when I was 10 years old, I had a near-death experience, and I was given my mission about peace. I never experienced peace in my life. I was experiencing profound peace for the first time, and I did not want to leave. But they told me, you know, you need to go back, and you can access this peace from the world, from the planet where you are. This is where you need to go and find out. We're going to help you find out how to do that. And in the past few years, I think the pandemic has been so amazing for a lot of us. I'm writing my book now called The Missing Piece, and it's the Destiny Blueprint. Peace is 5 elements. P is physical, E is emotional, A is the awareness, our mind, C is our consciousness, and E is our empowerment of our soul, like this all. So it's an active thing. So all the body, the heart, the mind, the spirit, you know, it's like, oh, there's an actual geography to peace. It's not just it's not the absence of stress, it's actually an activation.
And thank you for sharing that, because that gives also steps for people to what to focus on. But one thing I want to go a little bit back, because you talk about this destiny bridge and how it's easy to fall from it, and also maybe experiencing that inner peace, because I believe as well peace is possible, but sometimes it feels like mission impossible almost here in the earth level. Right. So if somebody is now listening, and if this is something they are struggling with, what is something that they can start doing, like to get them back on track, get them back on that bridge? Because you shared your example, but would there be something where to start with?
Okay. I'll give you I'm very practical. My work is grounded spirituality. It has to make sense. It's like really actionable. So whenever you feel a moment of disconnect, and the clues come up when you feel fear, when you feel resistance, when you feel anything that comes up, that's a clue that you're out of alignment. Those are very powerful information. So immediately start by relaxing your hands. And if you can, put a heart and belly hands. If you can't do that, if you're in public and you can't do that, but think about relaxing your hands right now. Just feel your hands relaxing and allow the breath to come into your belly. Stretch your belly out. Expand your chest. As you exhale, pull your belly in. And at the end of your exhale, do a Kegel squeeze. We call it root lock. Pull in the rectum, sex organ, navel tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That helps to anchor you. And then inhale, open. Now, on the next exhale, we're going to do a nice ah. Breathe in through your nose again. Hold that breath. And then with a TCH, a chew sound, go chew. Now draw the breath through your lips. Press the tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth. Now pull your belly in and out, in and out, in and out, and then again, ah. And that will reset you. I create a lot of these short bee breaks in my book. I give people very powerful bee breaks of what they can do on the spot. The other thing that's a really good quickie is grab your thumb. Grabbing your thumb, hold it here, and just breathing like that will immediately reset that ego freak out zone. Would totally, I got you. Like it's a physical action. I got you. I'm here for you. I'm taking care of you. You know, I'm taking a moment to be kind to me. It's extremely powerful. So that's a quick little thing. Was that helpful? Did you feel it?
That was, and I love because one thing that they are quick. Because sometimes we have this, oh, I don't have time, but that is like you can do that in a minute or even less.
Right.
So I love those tips
Right.
because
And
sometimes we create these barriers like, oh, I need to spend 8 hours in meditating to find peace,
no,
but you
no, no,
can
no.
do these little
So
things.
that doesn't work for me. I actually discovered late in life that I actually have some ADD. I'm a super creator. I have this ADD brain, but I teach meditation, but I needed to find a way to really partner the brain, the active brain with the intuition, with the spirit, and then bring them to meet in the heart. And then they're like,
Mm.
oh, we're friends. We're not fighting each other. There's a tug of war between, I want to be spiritual, I want to be real. For me, my spirituality was such an escape for so much of my early years. It was my happy place. And then it was about integrating the spiritual and the physical to meet at the heart. The lower triangle, reality, upper triangle, sort of our divinity. And we need to work together. That's what the new paradigm is about. That's what that fifth dimension is about. And it's so practical and tangible. And, I call it joyful yoga. It's got to be fun. It's got to be joyful. It's
Mm.
got to be. So I have a lot of different kinds of B breaks. Some are movement breaks. Some are breathing and hand gesture. I work a lot with meridians and the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, a lot of my work is channeled. So when I go back and what is that about? And research, it's like, oh my gosh, it's all about the vagus nerve being
Mm.
reset. And it doesn't take long. A yawn will open up the energy to release. So, we're built to succeed. We have the map within our body. So, with the Destiny Blueprint, we talk about the reality, lining yourself up physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually with where you want to be. And when you tap into your soul design, you discover this map. It's amazing. And the timing map repeats itself every year. And when you become in harmony with your own universal timing, you trust yourself so much more, because I knew that wasn't the best time to do it, but everybody was telling me I had to do it. Like, it just gives you that support. And I don't do a lot of public classes anymore. I'm really focusing on working with people who are really committed to doing this work and giving them the bird's eye view. I really want to go soul to soul with people. That's sort of my calling right now, to really bring people, not just to have a quick fix, but to take them into that beautiful, kind journey of being who we are here to be. It's time.
Beautiful. It is. And you've definitely given us a lot to think about today, shared a lot of really valuable concepts and ideas and thoughts. And I know you have put together a special gift to my
Yes.
community to take what we have been talking here today and go deeper with you. Can you share a
Yes.
little bit more about that?
Yes. So I said before, experience is for me the everything. So I'm going to invite everybody to experience just a 7-minute sound healing guided meditation to help you shift into being the sovereign CEO, conscious, empowered owner of your life, your business, your soul destiny mission, why you're here. I work with these gemstone bowls. So I'm just going to give you one little hit. This is amethyst and kyanite. Feel this. Um, the sound works on that part of our brain that wants to judge everything. Like, I don't know, like you have to just receive when you hear the sound. So you're going to get a meditation. And then I'm inviting those of you who want to have a destiny clarity call with me to schedule that. You'll have the link, will be there for you. And if you just want to kind of dabble, you can go to my YouTube channel. I do these self-kindness bee break that you can experience. The videos help you have that visual to receive, and then you can close your eyes and listen as well. And you can go to my website. I have a resource page. You can get a free chapter of my book and just get a feel whether that doobie-doobie-doo remedy could work for you to sustain your energy so that you can not fall into these deep I call them potholes. And the less deep you go, the easier it is. I used to go on vacation when I had pneumonia. I would just get really sick. That's how I got on vacation. don't need to do that. I think if you can really respect your beautiful energy and nurture yourself that way, it's time for us to be kind to ourselves, for us to be able
Yes.
to serve others.
And thank you for your kindness to share all those gifts with the community. So I will drop all the links to the comments below so you can find them there, check them out, and say yes to yourself and getting this support. So those are amazing. And as now we are wrapping up here, do you have a special message that you would like to share?
Yes. First, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your light. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for your courage to show up. And to remember that self-kindness is a powerful gift that as we give to ourselves, we help so many other people to receive as well. We're in this beautiful pool of energy right now. And every time we say yes to receiving, we're opening the doorways. And to remember that sometimes things feel heavy, and because they're not just because what's happening to you, but because so much is happening around us. And when something comes into our awareness, to go into that choice of being a source of healing within your body, to allow us to be this beautiful community, world community. World peace starts with inner peace. To be part of that pool that contributes to world peace, and to be grateful for the challenges that bring you forward. To lovingly appreciate who you are as you are. That's magic.
Oh, thank you so much, Louise. That was beautiful.
I love
And
hanging out
thank
with
you.
you.
Yes, me too. I love hanging out with you. And I so want to thank you for your time and all the work that you do in the world.
So grateful
And
to see
thank
you.
you. Yes, and thank you for watching the Path of Purpose interview show. If you like this interview, hit the thumbs up button and also leave the biggest takeaway in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And I'm sending you so much light and love. Stay well and stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And bye for now.